When I came to Madonna House, I was 21, and Catherine was at the end of her life. She was 84. I remember having this moment where, I mean, she's frail and she, kind of gets wheeled in. And it was at the end of the meal, I was cleaning something in the kitchen, and she's being, wheeled by, and she stops and she says, "Love without counting the cost. That's what we have to do." And then she's wheeled off again, And I was like, that's an 84, that's an older person, it's 21. This is like an ancient person, at 21. She's an older person. But that fire was still burning.
We kind of lived in a youth culture for a few decades. Everyone was temporarily able-bodied. Do you know that expression? And we had to realize, little by little, that we were going to age and become seriously ill. We had to think about people who weren't actually sick, but who were not totally ambulatory or limited in their mobility.
Well, we have people young and old here. So we have Mamie downstairs, who's 96 years old, and we have our youngest applicant, who's 23 years old, I think. We have a lot of people who are in their 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s. So lots of people who have lived this life for a long time.
One day I pulled out a list of all the staff and our ages, and it was startling to me because most people were up and at 'em, but they were also up and at 'em in age too. And we were growing, and we were growing up, and we were growing old. At the same time, we were no longer a youth group, and it was quite evident that we needed to provide something other than what we had.
Catherine, our foundress, believed that we should mortgage the house for the sick, that was the sick should be a special place of charity. Caring for the sick should be a special way of charity.
We always had what was called the dispensary. At one point it was just a little room. Then as the nursing grew, we transformed the bottom of a house, the main floor of a two-story house, into a dispensary. And then as people grew older and a need for chronic care, we built Our Lady of the Visitation.
There are things we can offer here at Our Lady of the Visitation, such as a clean room that they don't have to clean themselves. If you've got a broken hip, it's a little hard. Or remembering that it's time for lunch or supper, or helping by putting out their clean clothes in the morning so they have a nice outfit that matches, But I would say the key thing is that we're learning to slow down. We're learning to be present to each other in the moment. And so that presence in the moment means that I'm here when you forget that it's lunchtime, and I will support you in that transition.
I had a stroke when I was in my 40s. I was the director of the Marion Center, one of our houses in Regina, Saskatchewan, which was a soup kitchen, which meant it was very active. They said, well, you had a stroke, and I was affected on my left side. And it was traumatic, I would say. I could no longer be of service at the Marion Center because it was just too active, too many stairs, too much physical work, So I came back here, and it took me a couple of years to kind of adjust to myself, physically being the way I was, limited in so many ways and so slow. You know, when you get up in the morning, how long does it take you to brush your teeth? Put your shirt on, normalcy was gone. So it's like being kind of in a heavy fog all the time. It's a shock. I have to say it's a shock.
Because we're a family, because we pretty much know each other from day one, you know, like we're together all that time. As people become older and more frail, you're walking with them. You're walking with them side by side the whole time, you know. We call it the grace of state, you know. It's the grace of really knowing this person, really being present to this person. It's a beautiful thing.
I've been with most of the people who've died in the last 5 years. I've been there. And it is between that person and God, a secret, inner, impossible to communicate, identify or understand, dialogue almost between the person and God inside.
We've learned to walk softly and walk easily, walk more slowly. So someone can make it from here to there, but it might take them 5 seconds longer than an average walker. So it takes longer to set the table because someone is slowly going around. So it takes longer. I think we've learned a lot that way.